So wealth in 2026 should not be just about chasing the hype, chasing the next best thing. Instead, let us build wealth, not chase it. And so these are just some of the things that I'm doing in 2026, especially after 2025, to build wealth. And so let's first do an audit of the year and figure out what it is that we did wrong, what it is that we did right in order to move forward. I think too many times we try to jump into the new year, new me, and instead of looking back and reflecting on the things that we actually did right, the things that we did wrong, and the things we can improve on. So together, let's take some time to sit and process. So the first thing I am doing is examining my whys. Why is it that I want to build wealth? Because trust me, at the end of the day, when things get hard, what is it that's going to keep you going? And sometimes motivation is not going to be your all in all. Sometimes you need something more. You need a core reason. You need conviction. And so what is it that you need? Is it that you're taking care of your parents? Is it that you have a family that needs you? Is it that you need to make a change? You are tired of living in survival mode and you want to now thrive. That's some of the truths that I've been faced with and some of the things that I'm definitely using as my conviction in order to build wealth. Not just for me to live a lavish life, even though I do like nice things, but so that I can be a resource to the people that I love and care about. And so I want to ask you, what is it? What is your reason for building wealth in 2026? So now that we've written down our whys and now have our conviction, now it's talking about strategy. Because as I said, we're not going to chase, we're going to build. And we're going to build in layers. So we are going to first build safety, then we're going to build systems and structure, and then we're going to make something scalable. So are you with me? Systems, or rather safety, systems, scalability. All right, and that's going to be our approach going forward. No, in order to do so, I think one of the most important things you can do for safety is get an emergency fund. And this is not investing, it's protection. Why? Because life happens. Life comes at you fast. And trust me, investing is easier when you have peace of mind. So what am I doing this year in order to have that peace of mind? I'm going to make sure that I have at least 3,000 USD in my emergency fund. And hey, that's just me because I'm very ambitious. But research also shows that Americans, I'm gonna say, yo, but they are foreign right now, you see me? But a lot of people don't even have 1,000 USD in their bank accounts to help with emergencies. And so we want to change that mindset. We want to be investing from a place of peace of mind because trust me, investing from a place of desperation is very different from motivating from a place of inspiration. And so we want to make sure we are investing from a place of inspiration. And that's coming about from first having a feeling of security and safety. So let us strive to have a comfortable emergency fund that can help us. So if anything happens and we are living in a time of uncertainty, so therefore that can stretch us out for that 3 months comfortably. All right, even if it's 2 months, let us start and then we can get into investing safely with a secure mind. All right, make sense? Makes sense. No, I have been a victim of wanting to move too fast, too quickly, wanting to get into the right investment at the right time without even doing my studies or my research. And that is dangerous. Trust me, it's very dangerous. You don't want to be there. Trust me. So what I want to do is this year is make investing simple, from a place of peace of mind, inspiration, but now also from an informed so that I can take calculated risk. I think that's very important in the world of investment. And also making it simple. I was trying to do so many complicated things, but my profit started to change when I made it simple. And so in making it simple, I think a good place to start is ETFs. And what this is exchange traded funds, in which you have a conglomerate of stocks. It's kind of like a fruit basket. So instead of going and buying one fruit, you buy a fruit basket of stocks. You don't own the stocks, but you own ownership, or you have ownership in the fund. And so what this has shown to do is actually be very safe. It's easier on the beginner as an investor. And so what you do is that you know tip your toes in the investing pool without too much risk. And I think it's good to start here, because once you start climbing and seeing profit up and down, get used to it without making too harsh of a risk. And so I do want us to get into the mind frame after building that safe foundation of taking calculated risk and research, and also showing ourselves that it is possible. Every mickle make a muckle. Start small, put your hat where you can reach it, and not bother with the bag of complicated things. Let's keep it simple. And so I think that's a great way to start investing in 2026, and that's what I will be doing, ETFs. So you might be asking me, hey Shaq, what kind of ETF you buy? All right, so these are just some of the things that I will be looking at. There are a couple out there that you can look at, and ensure you do your own research, please. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a trying youth, just like yourself, right? And I'm doing this for pure entertainment. So there is the Vanguard, you have the VOO, you have the VT. I think these are great ways to start and to getting started. The VOO mimics the S&P 500. The VT is a global market fund, ETF. Right. Another great one is the SPY, the SPY. Right. That also mimics the S&P 500, and they also have other ones, right, that mimic the global market and the different markets. Have a look at that as well. And there is one of my favorites, the QQQ, which is a technology fund. And as you can see, technology, especially with AI booming, is going off the charts. And we are in an acceleration phase, and I believe it is a good place to start. So start with one. Yes, start with one. Look which one makes the most sense to you, and start investing. It could be, say, if you're like me, say $100 a month. All right. So start small, and just watch compound effect take its place. One of the wonders of the world. I have a simple rule. Yes, I have a simple rule. If you can't explain it, don't invest in it. I believe that too many times we go off of hearsay, and I am very guilty of this. Trust me, I've lost a lot of money because of this. But no, try to understand what you're investing in. I think it's very important. So after we do ETFs, and we do want to get into the stock market and explore singular stocks, now what we can do is get to understand and start where you are. So for example, if you have a computer, say Dell, or an Mac, right? Start looking at those companies, start seeing what is it, who is the CEO, what do they do, what is their moat, as in what makes them stand out in the market. And even visit their stores. Trust me, when it is that you go to a Apple store, it's like a different experience. But try understanding the brands that you are using, so you are moving from a consumer mindset to a producer mindset. So right now, every time I walk into Walmart, I hold my head high, because this is my company. I own shares here, right? So that's some of the things you want to explore, a shift in mindset from consumer to producer, and also ensuring that we understand what it is that we are investing in. Trust me, it changes how you look at the world. One of the greatest things is understanding what we're doing now in terms of our income. and understanding that income is one of the greatest wealth lever, right? And so it is not just about investing, but also increasing our income. And so we are already skilled professionals. How are we now going to think of increasing our income? Some of the ways is increasing our skill, learning new skills, right? Perhaps we need to change our environment and to see where it is that our value or what we offer to the market would be more appreciated. Getting a promotion, perhaps, right? Changing jobs, doing extra work. How is it that can I increase my income, my revenue, in order to increase my investment and even perhaps reduce debt so that I am increasing my net worth, right? So those are some of the conversations I want you to have with yourself in your mind as we move forward to a greater 2026 and building wealth in layers. So now we've gone from building safety and now we're building security through systems, right? And so I believe one of the greatest input of that system is your income. So let us break it down and see where it is that we can build on our income, whether it is increasing our income through what we're already doing, our skills, our services provided, extrapolating that, building different systems to extrapolate that, whether through, say, social media, partnering with different persons. Is it that you're going to learn a new skill this year? Perhaps learning how to read the market so that you could trade. Perhaps it's learning how to operate a business so that we can start a business down the line. And we'll have a video for how to approach business starting, right? But how is it that am I going to position myself on how to increase my income? I think that's an important question we have to ask ourselves. And I want you to be asking yourself, how am I this year going to increase my income so I can put myself in a position to fulfill my convictions, taking care of my dad, my mom, my kids, right? How am I going to build legacy for my great grandkids? So if those are some of your convictions, we have to have those conversations with ourselves and community, nurturing those conversations in our community as well, in a safe space. So I think that's very important, and that's something we have to do to build wealth in 2026. Now, we've discussed creating a safety net. We've discussed creating systems, and so now we want to discuss scalability. And the way to approach scalability is efficiency. Now, there are some things that we do on our day-to-day that are mundane and routine. And so, in order to address that, we have to be efficient. What are the things that I do today that can be outsourced? What can someone else do that I don't have to do so I can focus on creating or building something or refining something that will help me to get that income in, to increase that revenue, to ensure that I can build in 2026. Those are some of the things that we definitely need to ask ourselves. And I think one place to start is with AI, right? If you are not using AI in 2026, you are far behind. So therefore, I think that's something and a skill that we all need to invest in the time in. How can I use AI softwares to make my day-to-day easier? I know some people are very worried about AI, but trust me, you will not be replaced by AI. You will be replaced by someone who knows how to utilize AI. So therefore, we have to have these real conversations. We have to have these thought processes and now cultivate an environment where we are learning these new skills that are presenting themselves because the world is changing. Now, are you going to be left behind, or are you going to advance with it? Now, that's something you need to ask yourself. So ensuring that you can write down your tasks and see, where can I siphon this off to someone or something, AI, to make it easier on myself. And so I can focus on becoming the best version of myself by doing what no one else can do. All right. So think about it and trust me, efficiency will be key in building wealth in 2026. Now, another asset that I believe is very important is education. Education can be an asset, but it can also be to your demise. And let me explain. We want to ensure that we are focusing on education that has return on our investment, or ROI. So, what am I learning, and is what I'm learning helping me to get to where I want to get in terms of financially? Meaning, does this make sense financially? Because if it don't make dollars, it not gonna make sense. You see me? So we have to look at it and say, what is it? Am I just wasting time here, or am I being very efficient with my education, with my time, with my energy, with my resources? All right, because I get it. We are professional, and I respect the degree that you have, but no, in this time, we have to position ourselves to be more advanced. We have to know, not just, it's not about learning a topic, it's now about learning how to create systems within what we already know, and education is going to be an important key. Now, education, financial literacy, how do I navigate the market, how do I get better in what I'm already doing so that I am valuable in the marketplace? These are some of the questions we have to do. If it is that you want to start a business, let us read around it. Let us read around the mistakes and how people started business wrong. Learn from those mistakes. That is also education. So I think education in this era is going to be very important. So we have a lot of information circulating, but we need to prioritize that information. What is it that we need to focus on so that we can become a better version of ourselves? That's going to be important in building wealth in 2026 as well. All right. Yeah. Now, the final thing I want to mention in terms of building wealth in 2026, this is going to be one of the most important things you can do, and that is building wealthy habits. Is your habit, or are your habits helping you reach where it is that you said you are going to be going in 2026, 2027, 2028? Are your habits helping you get where you need to be, or become the person you need to become in order to achieve the dreams you have set out to achieve? Only you can answer that. And so we need to know, do an audit of our habits, what it is that we need to change, what it is that we need to learn or unlearn or refine this year moving forward. Do I need to change my environment in terms of the discussions that are happening around me so that I can progress? Do I need to step away from some people? Do I need to get into certain rooms? Am I reevaluating my finances at the end of the week? Am I making emotional decisions that's hurting me, that is hurting my family? We need to now sit with ourselves on a week-to-week basis in order to examine our habits so that we can make these changes. I want myself to have a great 2026. We want to move from a survival mode mentality to that of thriving, and this is my prayer for you in 2026. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great one. See you on the next video. Blessings, and do remember to share, like, and comment. Are these some of the things that you think you will be doing in 2026 to build wealth? Thank you so much. Blessings.